let's see, we're gonna adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of two people, Trina Rose Aquilino and Vincent King. Anybody remember Vincent King? Yeah, teacher at the high school. So, and then, let's see, we have no public hearings. Also, I did sign the DASNY grant application on Friday. Right, the contract, not the application, the contract. And so that was signed Friday. How are we making out with the architect?
I reached out to Mike last week.
Right.
And he was going to start, he sent over extra for putting it together.
Did we authorize that previously in a resolution?
We did for the roof.
Oh, we didn't for this?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so,
like $1,200, it's not.
yes.
For architectural
So
services, what
we're
about
gonna
that?
have to get that to,
We're putting separate bid package.
Oh,
putting the bid package together. We're gonna have to get that to Kevin.
Right.
He sent it by email, right?
He did. Yeah.
Okay, so,
I need your copy.
Yeah.
okay, so that, yeah, one that come in Friday, I think, Thursday,
Last week,
Friday.
yeah, last week. Yeah.
So we'll have to get that done for the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I'm not sure about because the dog control fence is part of that. I don't know that we need any kind of design for that, do we?
Just
The
the
dog
location,
control fence.
just the location of where it is.
So all we really have to do is get a location. So if you could get that from Gene Carn
okay.
and provide it to Matt so that we can get a permit for
Just
that.
document the footage.
So-
I was just talking about the other day,
Okay,
because I guess that grant is available again this year for the shelter, and she wants to go over some things with that. So I guess we'll bring that up when I go meet her about the.
yeah, I think the grant application deadline is July 25th.
That was August 25th.
Is it? Maybe, I don't know if it's part of the CFA or if it's separate. I don't know.
I think it's
If she questions the
Is it
fence,
separate?
like the plan, I helped her with those quotes, and they're actually on the quote, so whatever quote we're going with, it'll actually show the design or another quote. the
But you're gonna
dimensions.
have to reconfirm the dollar amount, okay?
Oh, yeah,
Because
it's been a long
it's a year, and so the dollar amount could have changed.
Okay.
Okay, so, get the same businesses to provide you with quotes, or send some certification that the previous quote is still valid.
Okay.
It's something in writing from them, so either a new quote or confirmation that it's still valid.
Okay.
Okay, and, that's it, and then the drawings to Matt, and you can issue the permit, and,
Happy to do it for this art building too when we get closer.
right. Yeah, once we get the design, so, okay, so that's it. Okay, resolutions. Anybody else have anything for move on? Okay, the
We
minutes?
did have a gentleman that had a question about drainage. I didn't know if there was a drainage report this week, Matt.
Well, we have to have, Ed and I talked about, we'd like to talk to people about, we've got a couple of drainage issues in the town that need to be addressed. I
Okay.
sent an email out to everybody on the 6th of July regarding Country Place and Petersburg Circle. The only one I heard back from was Ed and Matt. I didn't hear from any other board members, but we got a real issue there that has to be taken care of. And we have a lot of trees and brush and sheds and fences and everything in our easement. Ed's done the survey for us. This gentleman's called me multiple times trying to get in and do something to work, and we can't do anything unless we send a letter out from the town attorney to all these people, have everything in the easement, have everything removed so we can get in there and do our work.
I discussed
You
that
can
with
speak
them on
if you
the
want to.
phone.
Pardon me?
We discussed that on the phone.
We did talk, we did, but you can explain to them what's going on back there and how much has been going on with this.
I've been there since '82, I had a
So
house built.
please provide me with the location,
Okay, I live at 71 Country Place,
okay?
okay? So it's Country Place, and then the apartments are they Park Lane?
Park Lane Apartments.
Park Lane Apartments border my property,
Transit, Right.
all right?
okay.
Now, I don't know whether that is part of drainage from Michael Anthony.
That drainage, that comes all the way back through there and goes into where Hidden Meadows is now, right?
Yeah, turn south towards
Turns south goes into Hidden Meadows, yes.
So, make a long story short, supposedly, we assumed it was a green space, all right? There's a green space by Michael Anthony. Behind me, wasn't really sure, but it is trees, and it is a green space, but it's basically higher than the swale in my backyard and the swale that the apartments put in. Meanwhile, there's fences, sheds,
Pool pumps.
pool pumps in the way of the drainage easement that were put in there. And over the years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. So I was gonna have my own, hire somebody to put drainage in finally, because I didn't want to drain everybody's property through mine, but if that's what it was gonna take, everybody upstream from me, then that's what I'd have to do. Well, then I got a notice that you guys are gonna look into the drainage
He
situation.
called me, and then we had another call from people on Petersboro Circle about this. I said, don't spend any more of your money, we have a drainage easement there, it's our responsibility to improve this drainage problem you have there.
The other question I have though is, okay, so there's a drainage easement there. Can you put a fence through that? Okay, so if you can't put a fence through drainage easement, which I've driven through the town and it seems like probably from years ago that more than half of the fences go through any kind of drainage easement. Okay, if you can't put the fence into the drainage easement, who is responsible to take care of that land if it's on my survey, okay?
The easement is on your survey.
Yeah, which is basically, I think, my land, but I can't put nothing there. Who's responsible to take care of that land?
Property owner.
The property owner?
That easement is conveyed to the town for drainage purposes. If there's infrastructure below grade, the town will make sure that that pipe work is intact. Surface grading, cutting the grass, weed whacking, maintaining.
So then anybody that puts a fence in has to have access through their fence.
It's a good idea to get access to maintain that
Well,
property. It's a gate.
If you don't, you're not guaranteed. So everybody, I would say, would have to have a gate.
Right.
The swale has to be maintained.
I don't see any of that anywhere. I mean,
Probably
honestly, I mean,
don't, right.
so I mean, he knows the situation, you know, they've been out there, they looked at it, what the solution is. He's like I said, you know.
We need to send the residents notices to get everything out of the easement. Ed and I have talked about this numerous times. For us to get in there to do the work, there's trees that have to be removed, there's brush that's got to be cut out, and we have to reestablish the ditches to back there.
I'm in
Well,
support of that.
I think that it's probably the best way to handle is convene a meeting of the drainage committee with the drainage officer, with the MS4 officer, official, with the town engineer, and look at what's out there and come up with a set of recommendations, whether it's only one recommendation is going to work or whether or not there are some options. Because frankly, you know, the board, they're not engineers, they're not drainage officials, but, you know, given options, they should be able to make a decision and then give direction to the drainage officer as to what he should do. The town attorney is also going to have to be involved because you're discussing easements and real property, etc. So, you know, that's my suggestion.
Well, I think we've done that. I think Ed's done the survey. We know what we have to do. I just need the board to have the town attorney send out these letters. I mean, that's just what this email was that came out on the 6th. And
Well, I guess I felt like there was no option, so I was kind of confused. If there's one option, then why aren't we taking the option?
Right.
I didn't know I had to approve sending out a letter.
Maybe a response would help.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe a response would help because then you ignore it.
off the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be done. I mean, if the town attorney sends a letter out, has everybody moved everything out of the way? Ed's already done the survey.
Right,
He's already did all the
the
legwork.
expertise gave their opinion.
We've been working
Can I
on
just say
this for
something?
over a month.
You know what's gonna happen though, you send people a letter, all right, and they're gonna do what I did, drive around, and they're gonna say, look, this mess is all over.
It is, right?
So, I
And
mean,
have to put a
so-
deadline in there.
Yeah, but you have a problem right now.
Yeah.
The other people don't have a problem. You have a problem right now we're trying to address.
I agree.
Okay,
So
well, that's
the
why.
I agree, I mean,
The
I
others
just-
may have a problem in 2 years, 10 years, 5 years, 50 years, but they will have a problem eventually.
And if they don't meet the deadline,
But
we'll bring
right
it
now,
back.
your problem is one that needs to be addressed.
But those are
Yeah.
things the board
Yes,
has to decide,
exactly.
not me.
And I understand where you're coming from because that is what you will get from the public. It
Well,
will
what is
be,
the consensus?
well, how come he has.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
right
needs to
now,
be taken care of.
obviously,
We
you
are not the
have
experts.
water
The
issues,
expertise to say
correct?
this is what you do,
Yeah.
we should take the
Right.
advice.
I mean, it's been that way for
I mean, I'm not
I'd say probably from
an
November.
engineer.
Maybe that.
Did it just start within the
No,
last year?
no, it's
or-
built over the years, you know, it's got worse and worse the more people have done stuff. The guy from next door to me put a pool in, they dug the pool out and they put the pile of dirt right in the swale, and it's still there. And I'm not gonna say none of them, it's like, you know what?
It's there.
It's there.
It's
I
there?
mean, if you can't see it, you're blacking with drainage, you know, I don't know.
I don't think we can ask a property owner to do this. It's been neglected by the town all these years. I think we have a responsibility to take care of this.
Yeah, so,
If
you
you provide me with
know, I
the
mean,
names and addresses,
I'll be happy to.
I'll send out a
okay.
One more thing before we go, Pheasant Run, just so you know. Wolf's Nursery was in there. It's drying out very nice, the ditches are working fine. The only thing we have to do, he's gonna mow those cattails, and we have to cut them one more time. We have to spray them one more time.
Yeah, a lot is gonna spend.
So that should be taken care of. I had a woman called complimenting on the way it turned out, but
She
some woman even
complimented.
called
God
you
bless her.
complaining about something too.
Oh, just one more question, I also
one is
own
happy
land,
and one is not.
I also own,
What else is new?
property on Woodstream, okay, and the dead end of Woodstream,
Okay,
there's a lot that cuts through, and there's a dead, there's a little stream that goes through there. I was told that you couldn't clean that out because the other guy that owned it wouldn't let you in there. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
There's two ponds, there's two,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember saying. We told you, I would.
no, I just bought this place about 2 years ago.
Yeah, as I said, we never said that.
Okay, so there's no plan on clearing that,
Give me a call tomorrow and I'll look at it, I'll let you know.
okay,
All right?
because it's between the two streets.
Yeah, the two strike, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Resolution number 1, just the minutes. Number 2 is the allocated claims. 3, we have a total of 73 building permit applicants, 48 in the town outside and 25 in the village of Lancaster. 4, it's yours.
Setting a public hearing for a board of business.
And 5 is the general code. Diane has written us on more than one occasion regarding the, and you did give them the new resolution?
And the resolution.
Okay, got it. So, yeah, we just wanted to add to it what it includes. And everybody got a copy of the proposal. So it's for codification and maintenance and post-project editorial and legal analysis. And the maintenance, they do that all along. Okay, that they do the way currently, and you know, obviously that's going to continue. And I know they do editorial and legal analysis work also. So,
I'm just gonna pass this.
oh yeah,
This is just something I did for the last 15, 16, 17, 18, how much we have paid just for the supplements. We have paid almost $10,000 just for the supplements, and that's when local laws change or adopted or something else has changed. This cost, and I'm not talking about the maintenance because maintenance we always pay, it's just over $11,000. And we won't have the supplement charges to pay because we're not going to have 22 books that need these supplements. We're going to have one, and since the 8.5 by 11, the town clerk's office will make copies and send it out. Books are different. So if you want to pass this out, it's really a no-win or a no-lose situation. And starting next year, it'll be mandatory and the price will skyrocket. So we're getting in at the right time.
this is definitely the right time to do, especially with our changing the code. So that's going to be expensive, and if we had to get copies for every one of the code books that we have out there with the code change, these numbers that Diane just gave us are a drop in the bucket compared to what that would be. So this is going to save us a lot of money. So. Yeah.
Is this going to wait before the adoption of the Chapter 50?
She said she knows it's coming because I told her about it. So that will be
Coincide?
all in part of this, right?
Right, yes. So they want to have this ready to go before we re-adopt the code. because otherwise we would have to get all of those, special size copies, so, for our books, so. Resolution 6, this is what we have to do annually for those who are re-upping their terms, their record of activities for the retirement system. And the retirement system also requires that we send them a list of all of the titles that we have that are part of the retirement also. And this one is the, let's see here, the site plan for the project at Laurel Lake for their drainage project. I don't know, Matt or Ed or Kevin, this has been going on for a couple of years that we've been working with Laurel Lake here. They have some problems with drainage and soil erosion when they have runoff of water from the road going on past their houses and then into the, what we used to call the tanks, okay, out there. They call it Laurel Lake. So they finally did follow the advice of the planning board and the town board, and they engaged the services of an architect and engineer to help them with the proper design for this. So this was all approved by the planning board. They're finally going to get this done, and I think it's going to work, right, Ed? Yeah, sure. So the next one is a negative declaration for a two-lot subdivision on Wainwright Court. Nothing remarkable about that. And the next is the two-lot subdivision, the approval of the plat here, or the subdivision. Resolution 11 is the negative declaration again, and that's for an addition to a manufacturing building on Walden Avenue, the Parker Hannafin building. So, just down here. And the next is a recreation instructor out at the senior center. It's Phyllis Darnley. She'll be paid at the rate of $12.36 starting on July 16. And next is, okay, this is for the Youth Bureau. Michelle had, we have an agreement with Mollenberg Vets to go out and do inspections of various heating equipment that we have at our various buildings. And this one out at the senior center has become an issue. I'm sorry, at the Youth Bureau has become an issue. Did you want to elaborate on that at all, Michelle?
Basically, they came and they did their service and their maintenance on the agreement, and in addition, part of the Youth Bureau, the air isn't even working, furnace isn't working. They estimated between about 15 years old, and for the repair of it, it's better to just replace it at this point.
Right, it's old, and we'd be throwing good money after.
And I picked them because they're servicing now, they're doing all our HVAC.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to stay with them.
So that, and John had some, John Porjanowski had some urgency about getting this done quickly. He wanted it done by what, July 1st or whatever?
July 8th.
July 8th. So they'll hopefully be able to start on this right away. The next one is the Parks Labor, Justin Wilczak. And you all saw the letter from Michelle asking to appoint him as a laborer in the Parks Department.
Does it make a difference? I think Michelle's letter stated Aspire first.
I don't know what she stated.
I wrote the letter.
Right.
I don't have.
But we
the letter in
have
front
a
of me. I think
resolution
that's
for
how
him
it
in here also. They just prepare the resolutions and shoot them on down the hall. So this one is for Justin Wilczak. Then we have resolution 15 is Carlo Di Rienzo and Stephanie Hernreiter as rec attendants. Starting 2 different dates. One starting last week Monday and the other one starting tomorrow. Then we have a pay adjustment retro to July 1 for Partner Rosler and Ryan Manzel as rec attendants. And next we have the Youth Bureau, okay, a tutor, Kelly Sanbelmo, as a youth tutor.
I did talk to
That's-
John on that, in case
Did you?
anyone's wondering about West Seneca. It's kind of an emergency one, the tutor backed out at the last minute, and she's subbing in.
Yeah, is this for the theater? Is it,
No,
or-
this is actually for tutoring.
Oh, for tutoring, okay, okay.
So,
Because that tutor title is utilized
Tutor title?
for, tutor title is used for,
For a lot.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have James Spire, the third, appointed to the position of laborer. And then we have, let's see here, to create the PO 17 new position duties for position of payroll supervisor, part-time. I know I had spoken with the board previously regarding the fact that Morgan said she was going to have to leave. We really are very, very short-handed there. So what we'd like to do is create this part-time position so that she will be able to start working for us part-time, and then we will have backup not only for her, but she's very well versed in the KVS system since she used to sell it if she was the representative for KVS years ago before she started here. So when Jean Farmer, I know Jean has been telling everyone that she is going to be retiring sooner than later, and it's going to be sometime this calendar year. She doesn't have a date firm yet, but at one point she was talking about August, which is just a couple weeks away, and now she is, it may be a little bit later, but she has listed her house that she's going to be leaving. So the fact that we could have a part-time person who is familiar with accounts payable, with all the health insurance information and payroll, it just will take a lot of slack off. I'm not going to be there in January to help out any longer, so whoever else is in there is going to have a lot of knowledge and a lot of ability to be able to roll up their sleeves and help out. So there's going to be a learning curve. So I think this is probably the best thing to do for the overall, payroll. I don't think anybody wants 250 people complaining if they weren't getting a paycheck. So, and we do, we have had some situations, hi Dave, so and Dave can probably confirm that also, where we have been in the position at times where we're spread so thin that payroll just can't go on the back burner. So, and again, in that same vein, this is for Morgan to start out as part-time, but not until September 2nd. So what we'd like to do is keep her on full-time so that she can train the new lady who is coming up later in these resolutions here. So Resolution 21 also is to submit a Form PO 17 for one additional payroll supervisor.
So technically, we'll have
So-
an additional payroll supervisor position after Morgan goes to part-time.
Yes.
Right, we won't be filled, but we'll have that position.
That is correct, right. Just as we have a lot
Yeah.
of positions, I don't know, we probably have a dozen patrolman slots.
No, and we've done
They're
that
not
before
filled, you
to
don't
do
fund
the-
them, you don't fill them. So funding them and filling them are two different things. So, and then the next one is a lady that we happened upon that has a great deal of payroll experience, and she's currently working in payroll. She does payroll for a municipal government, and she does 1,600 paychecks bi-weekly. She also deals with 7 collective bargaining agreements, and it happens to be for a school district, so she does cross over fiscal years also, which gets extremely complicated. She's very familiar with the fact that when you're doing payroll, you don't get to take off when you want to take off. You could only take a day vacation when you're not tied down with payroll and other payroll issues. So we think we have a good fit with this. We have contacted the Erie County Personnel Department for a list for a payroll supervisor, and they currently have no active list. So they said that this job is probably the best title for this job is payroll supervisor, and that when they offer another test, this lady would have to take that test and then come in the top 3. She'd have to be reachable. So she's fully aware of that and committed to do this. And
Is this
she
something
apparently
that since
is.
there was no available list, is this something that we could have maybe posted in-house? That somebody who has worked with Morgan before? And filled-
There's nobody else who has done payroll here. Right.
Employees in the house might want to move up and beyond.
Well, we
since
need
Morgan's-
somebody with payroll experience. Okay. And so the answer to that is no, because we wouldn't dismiss anybody who doesn't have a wealth of payroll experience. Dave, did you want to talk to that?
No, just that there are minimum job qualifications too.
Right.
Just not just anyone would qualify to even take the appointment. You know, there's educational and/or payroll experience requirements. So, if you don't have payroll experience, you really wouldn't qualify to
Right.
sit for the exam, and therefore take the provisional appointment.
Right. And it's too integral of a position. How many paychecks do we do when we're at our peak? Maybe 250?
Well, I mean, we issue about just under 500 W-2s,
Okay.
so that's probably the best measure.
Right. So
Would you say if somebody takes a test and scores real high and she doesn't, then she gets,
she gets booted. Yes.
Well,
She's
as long
aware
as
of
she's
it.
out the top 3. As long as she's in the
Yeah.
top 3, you can take your pick, right?
That is correct, yes, but you have to be reachable in the top 3.
Right.
That's civil service law. So, she's fully aware of that. Although she's probably on about a dozen civil service lists right now. She is on several payroll civil service lists.
Well, she
but-
currently occupies the title of payroll clerk where she
Payroll
works.
clerk.
But
Right.
payroll clerk this is a little bit above payroll clerk.
Right,
If we were desperate and had to use that title, we could have certainly done that, but
right.
it didn't seem like the appropriate thing to do.
She's also on a list that is much higher. It's the ECMC list that is a lot higher. And the pay scale, I think, at ECMC was, I think it was $84,000. It was outrageous, so it's something that we don't pay. But she's also on that list. So that is another possibility. But we wouldn't be able to even put anyone in there unless they met the basic qualifications she does. So. And let's see here, this is JAG, last but not least. Ed, do you want to speak to this at all? Because I know we were going round and round and round with this. So, they
came in with a building addition on this, a separate building and a bridge site. Which they went to the planning board, and that process went to engineering. And then the last question came down to the
seeker?
seeker.
Right.
We reached out to Chuck, and Chuck, you spoke.
Yeah, but a lot of people look at this.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was an initial submittal they made back whenever, 2007, 2016, or maybe before that.
Seeker was approved in 16.
16. This building was shown on the plan as a future phase.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot of detail given. The question was, did seeker cover it, didn't cover it?
Right.
On top of that, it's in the industrial park, which I assume went through seeker.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Chuck's opinion was, it's probably, probably saves, somebody who's going to question it, but.
It was referenced in the original plan, it was at least considered.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't have to read this.
I know it was last minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it basically got deemed, the receipt was already.
Okay. So that should be simple.